right, shalom, shalom. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Recha HaKodash. The honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim doing the work in truth and in sincerity. Okay, and this is your brother Amawan Ariello, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. I got a news article here, okay, about a recent event that took place in the UN. All right, I'm going to read the headlines, and it says, U.S. Israel vote against UN resolution condemning the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, so we all know about the transatlantic slave trade, right? Some atrocities we know were done unto the children of Israel, and some we're not so much aware of, okay? But for what we know that it was terrible, okay? They had, Jakes and chains, right? Jake was brutally whipped as a form of discipline, all right? Their babies were fed to gators, okay? Hence the word gator bait, all right? All these different things, working Jake until Jake just, dies and passes away. Working the elderly, right? No love for the elderly, working them till they fucking die. All right, no rest, okay? All the rape, all the robbery, all these different treaties and pacts that were made between Esau and the so-called Native Americans, okay? Slavery was so bad, let me tell you, some of the ships that used to carry Jake used to be so fucking filthy, right? Feces, throw up, everything, all on the floor. Okay, Jake was so crammed in those cages. Okay, it was hard for them to even breathe in that shit. Okay, so all these things that were done to the so-called Negro, all right, here in America, it meant nothing, right? Like there's no remorse for what was done to the children of Israel. So it says the resolution overwhelmingly passed with 123 votes in favor, and only the U.S. and Israel and Argentina voting against it, right? Because a lot of those slave ships were funded by the Ish people anyway. Okay, they benefited from that. They're benefiting from us not knowing who we were, right? And us being in a state of captivity. They benefited from that. Okay? So it goes on to read. It says, what is that word? All right, Truth Out is a vital news source. No. It says the U.S. and Israel were two of only 3 countries to vote against a resolution in the UN to condemn the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity and calling for reparations, right? So first and foremost, who was putting this into captivity? Jake, man. All right, the sons of Israel. All right, this is a part of prophecy. All right, in Deuteronomy 28:68, it says that we'll go into captivity again by the way of ships, okay, and that we will see the land of Israel no more. So that happened to us, all right, and all these different, nations, all right, the small hats, they went through what is called the Holocaust, okay, they were given some type of reparation. Why doesn't Jake get any reparations? All right, and even if we were, to be honest, we don't want Esau's fake currency, man. All right, for those of us who really understand it all, those of us in the truth, we want Esau. Okay, we don't want his money. All right, but Esau fails to realize that, even if it wasn't him today that did it, he still has to pay for the sins of his fathers. And naturally, they wouldn't feel no way about the transatlantic slave trade because it's those same people coming back today. Okay? So let me keep going. It says the resolution strongly condemns slavery and the trafficking of Africans, which are really Israelites, and recognizes the impacts of the abhorrent regimes of slavery and colonialism and contemporary colonialism of Africa. It calls on member states to have a wide-ranging dialogue about reparatory justice, as well as the restitution of cultural properties that were stolen by colonialist states. It also recognizes the definitive break in the world history scale, duration, systematic nature, brutality, and enduring consequences that continue to structure the lives of all people through racialized regimes of labor, property, and capital. Okay? So, yo, man, this cracker, he's done all these different things, and then, you have the ripple effect, all right? The result of slavery, all right, is Jake not having a foothold or having an equal footing. And really, we don't even want equal footing, to be honest with you. Real quick, let's get it. It's the book of Deuteronomy 14:2. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power, and the Lord has chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth." So the nation of Israel, we are above all the people. All the nations that are upon the earth today, we are above them. All right, but because we disobeyed the Heavenly Father, all right, we were wicked. All right, we transgressed the laws of the Heavenly Father. We were put into a state of captivity. Okay, real quick. Let's grab this real quick. It's going to be in the book of, actually in the book of Baruch. Okay, let me see here. Baruch chapter 4. It says in Baruch 4:5, "Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel, to Zion. You are sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High God to wrath, you were delivered unto your enemies, for you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. You have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and you have grieved Jerusalem that has nursed you." Right? Okay? Two-thirds of our own people have, forgotten about the Heavenly Father. And they've pretty much cleaved to the ways of the Gentiles. Cleaved to the ways of Esau, Edom. Okay? And this is why the Lord is only coming back for the 1/3 elect of the nation of Israel, starting with the 144,000 men. Okay? But going back to the point, all right, Esau, Edom, all right, made a grave mistake by abusing the children of Israel. Okay? Salakia. Okay, let's see here. It's the book of Zechariah 2:8. It says, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory that has sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you." So all these different nations, all right, that have spoiled, and when you go into that word spoil, it means to destroy. Okay, all these different nations that have spoiled Jerusalem, have spoiled Israel, are going to get touched. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to be spoiled. For it says, "For he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye." Okay, "For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants." Okay, "And you shall know that the Lord of hosts has sent me." So we're going to get recompense, man. We're going to get that payback. Because Esau has to pay for what he did to the children of Israel. Okay, real quick. All right, so the book of Joel 3:2 says, "I will also gather all the nations, and I will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat," which is what's going on now. All right, the beginning of World War III, the beginning of the Lord's judgment. Okay, "and will plead with them there for my people." Now, word plead means to judge. Okay, so all these things that are going on, over there in the Middle East is because of what the nations have done to the children of Israel. So the Lord is the one that's passing judgment. And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and have parted my land. Okay, which means the people who are living on that land right now are not the true children of Israel. That land has been parted amongst the heathens. All right, they're the ones who are downtrodden our land, right? The land of the Lord. In verse 3 it says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Right. You sold a boy for a harlot. You turn the little boys into homosexuals, man. All right. Popping them in the ass and shit. All right. Raping our women. You don't think there's a payback for that, Esau? But yet that was nothing to you. All these things were done during the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. Jake being abused, Jake being persecuted. So there's no payback? Come on. So, when we read things like this, all right, we don't need your recognition, man. We know what you did was fucked up, and you may not even accept it because in your mind, you've been one to kill Jake, all right? Especially after Jake took the blessing from you. You've been had it out for Jake, all right? But this is why the Lord's going to do your ass in too, okay? So Lord willing, that's what's edifying. The Lord is going to bring justice to the elect, to the whole nation, all right? But Esau, we don't need your reparations, man. You can keep your money, okay? Here's the true reparation. I'm going to show it to you right here. All right, it's the book of Isaiah 60 and 10. Okay? This is the payback we're going to get, Esau. This is Isaiah 60, starting at verse 1. It says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about and see, and they shall gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come to thee from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then shalt thou see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because of the abundance of the sea, which is the people, shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, and all from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall bring, they shall show forth the praises of the Lord. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee, and the rams of Nabaoth or Nabaioth shall minister unto thee, and they shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify my house of my glory. All right, and when you go down to verse 8, it says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have mercy on thee. So the Lord is going to bless us with servants. All right, he's going to bless us, all right, with riches, all right, with substance. All right, and Esau and these other nations, they're going to be the ones to build up our walls, man. They're going to be the ones, all right, to build up our kingdom just like we built up their kingdom. All right, because that's what the transatlantic slave trade was all about. It was all about building up Esau's kingdom. This is how he became rich, all right, off the backs of slaves, man. All right, he didn't have to pay for no type of labor, all right, outside of him just, buying his, his slaves and shit like that. But, hey, slavery's coming back too. All right, don't get it twisted. Slavery's coming back. Hey, let's get this real quick. Through the spirit part, Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, Esau's gonna feel. He's gonna know how it feels to be put in chains. All right. He's gonna know how it feels to, to toil and not have nothing. Okay. All right, this is the book of Revelations 13 and 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So if you put one nation to captivity, you're going to go into captivity. You kill with the sword, you're going to be killed with the sword. All right? Everything in this life, in this world, is all about balance. Yahweh Shemi Shai says he hates a false balance, man. Okay? So what you have done to the children of Israel is going to be given unto you double fold. Matter of fact, it's the book of Psalm 75:8. It says, "For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red and is full of mixture, and he poureth out the same. But the dregs of it," right? And the dregs are the bitter parts of the grape. It says what? "All of the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them." Okay, and we know who the wicked is pursuant to Malachi 1:4. The wicked is the border of wickedness is Esau, Edom. Okay, so he's going to be the one, to drink of the Lord's wrath, man. It's going to be poured upon him for what he has done to the children of Israel. That was the last thing he should have did, was put his hands on the children of Israel. Okay, and we say it all the time, starting with our apostle, Apostle Tahar on down, Elder Apostle Tahar on down. Esau should have never touched us, man. Okay, he should have just let us serve out our captivity. All right, and then when that time came, we went back and he might have not been wiped out as a nation, but because of what he's done, the Lord's going to wipe him out as a nation. Read the book of Obadiah. Okay, so once again, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, all glory, all honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechakodash, Shalom. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone who do real well. Peace and salutations to you, bros, doing this work, man. To you all, I say Shalom.